It's Tuesday, June 20th, 2023, 7 p.m. I'd like to call the regular Sycamore Township Trustees meeting to order. If everyone could please rise. Mr. Kellums, if you'd like to offer us an invocation this evening, please.
Heavenly Father, we come together this evening grateful for the many blessings you have bestowed upon our township and our nation. Help us as government leaders to govern for all people who we serve. Lord, we humbly ask that you would lead us in our decision-making this day and bless us with your presence. We ask these things in your holy name. Amen.
Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If Mr. Jeters would note that all three trustees are present this evening. First order of business, I'm looking for a motion to approve the minutes of June 6th, 2023 trustee meeting.
I move we approve the June 6, 2023 trustee meeting minutes.
I'll second that. Mr. Jeters, would you call the roll?
Mr. James?
Aye.
Mr. Schwagman?
Aye.
Mr. Weedman?
Abstain.
Next on the agenda, we have a presentation this evening. Two presentations this evening for our friends at Moeller. Mr. Weedman, you have the honors this evening.
I think we're, okay, 046 is our friends on the volleyball team. So let me read these resolutions if I could. Resolution honoring the 2023 Moeller High School volleyball team. Whereas Moeller High School has a rich tradition of excellence in the athletic endeavors of its sports teams and student athletes, and whereas the 2023 Moeller High School volleyball team continued this tradition by completing its season with a victory in the finals of the first ever Ohio High School State Athletic Association sanctioned Division I State Championship Volleyball Tournament, bringing the state championship in volleyball to the school. And whereas this was the fifth straight championship game for the Moeller High School volleyball team, the first Division I team in history to three-peat, winning 3 state championships in a row. And whereas the Board of Trustees of Sycamore Township wishes to congratulate Moeller High School on its state volleyball championship and Coach Lee Meyer and his staff on their accomplishments in the sport of volleyball. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Trustees of Sycamore Township, State of Ohio. The Board of Trustees of Sycamore Township, Ohio, hereby extend our warmest and sincerest congratulations to Moeller High School, the 2023 volleyball team, and Coach Meyer and his staff on the occasion of their state championship in volleyball. This resolution shall be incorporated within the permanent records of Sycamore Township, and a copy shall be presented to Coach Meyer by the board, and I would make a motion to approve.
And I will second.
Motions, go ahead.
Mr. Jeters.
Mr. James?
Aye.
Mr. Schwagman?
Aye.
Mr. Weedman?
Aye. So it's passed unanimously this 20th day of June 2023. So you want to get a couple pictures? Congratulations.
Baseball's next, so sit tight.
If you guys want to come up.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming out, guys.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
I feel suddenly very small. I
I
feel very short.
Oh, I'm usually in the back though, so. You know what? I don't look up to people very often.
I'm a total I feel like this was like yesterday when Ellie De La Cruz and
We'll go over
Altuve, thank you.
All right, state channels, 1, 2, 3. Wonderful.
Hey, thanks for coming. Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thanks.
Great job, guys. Great job,
Good
guys.
luck, gentlemen.
That was great. Not too many times you look short there.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm never looking at them. Okay. The next item on our agenda, we have resolution number 2023-047, a resolution honoring the 2023 Moeller High School baseball team. Whereas the Moeller High School has a rich tradition of excellence in athletic endeavors in its sports teams and student athletes, and whereas the 2023 Moeller High School baseball team continued this tradition by completing its season with a victory in the finals of the Ohio High School Athletic Association baseball tournament, bringing the state championship in baseball to the school for the 9th time in school history. And whereas the Moeller High School baseball team has won a state championship 6 straight decades, and the 2023 team ended the year ranked 5th in the nation. And whereas the Board of Township Trustees of Sycamore Township wishes to congratulate Moeller High School on its state baseball championship and Coach Tim Held and his staff on their accomplishments in the sport of baseball. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Trustees of Sycamore Township, State of Ohio. The Board of Trustees of Sycamore Township, Ohio hereby extend our warmest and sincerest congratulations to Moeller High School, the 2023 baseball team, and Coach Held and his staff on the occasion of their state championship in baseball. This resolution shall be incorporated within the permanent records of Sycamore Township, and a copy shall be presented to Coach Held by the Board. And I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2023-047.
And I will second.
Mr. Dieters.
Mr. James.
Aye.
Ms. Schwagman.
Aye.
Mr. Weaver.
Aye. Congratulations to the baseball.
Congratulations to the baseball team.
Now you feel tall. Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. State champs, 1, 2, 3.
Congratulations. That's quite an accomplishment. 9 state championships, 6 consecutive decades. That's pretty good.
Well, it just has to build that beautiful.
They want one with the 2 coaches.
Oh, that'd be great. Oh, that's their great.
You should get one with the AD in there too.
All right, where do you want me to go?
You good with
I'll go with okay, great, fabulous.
Who's taking it first?
State champs, 1,
State
2,
champs.
3.
Okay.
Real quick,
Right.
1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thanks, gentlemen.
All right.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good night, folks. Thanks for coming.
Congratulations. See ya.
Congratulations. Have a great summer. Okay, next on the agenda, public comments. Do we have any public comments, Mr. O'Connor?
I believe Jeremy signed up, but I think that's for when we pass the resolution.
Jeremy's current Charm Jackson, but perhaps they were here for the Moeller event or
Tiger discounts,
Got it.
yes.
Okay. We'll wait until that time.
Okay.
Next, Sheriff Patrol report.
The only thing I had tonight, as we get into vacation season, I just wanted to remind all the residents that we do offer vacation residence checks for people who are out of town. We just ask if you make sure your stay is at least 3 days long. You can call our headquarters, the main office, 513-825-1500. The deputy will just take down some basic information, dates and times you're gone, and lights left on and things like that. But it's a really pretty neat service. A lot of people take advantage of it.
Thanks for the reminder. That's great information. Great service. Anything else?
No, that's
Nope.
it.
Okay. Chief Penny, EMS and Fire report.
Good evening. With school being out now, it looks like we might be picking up some additional part-timers. We are waiting for them to graduate from their class, and we got four part-timers that are trickling in now. We're trying to deal with some turnout gear issues, getting enough gear for them. Turnout gear it's 8 months to get gear. But luckily, the vendor that we use is willing to loan us gear until they can get it built. So we're hoping that works out for us. Hydrant painter is doing well. Started in Sturbridge subdivision and got most of Sturbridge done. And as soon as the weather cooperates, she'll be back out there again. That's good. And one thing, a feel-good story. 4 of our Firefighters were golfing over the weekend, and they came upon an injured dog that was laying out in the golf course. Had a bunch of lacerations on it, maybe coyote attack or something. So they shut their game down and took the dog to the vet. They paid for the vet bill out of their own money. It was $800 bill.
Wow.
And got it stitched up and got it on antibiotics and that, so it seems to
Wow.
So that's all I got.
All right, thank you. Planning and zoning report.
Thank you. Recently, the board moved to initiate a text change to amend the zoning resolution to consider misdemeanor criminal remedies for zoning violation cases. At the June meeting, the zoning commission voted to approve that text change of 4-0. There was one person that abstained from the case. With that, I have a resolution related to 6510 Kugler Mill nuisance property violation. The type of violation, it's tall grass and weeds. Again, 6510 Kugler Mill Road. Complaint was initiated by staff, Mr. Kevin Clark. He initiated it on May 31st, 2023. Currently, the occupancy is vacant. Mr. Clark sent the violation letter on May 31st, 2023. If you want to pass this down, that's a picture from today. Date of last inspection was actually today, June 20th, 2023. Communication from the owner has been unresponsive. Mr. Clark notes that the house is vacant and the owner has not responded to letters.
Is that owner in town?
We don't know. Or I don't know. I would
They
have
are
to
out.
look.
They are an out-of-town owner.
Out of town owner?
We dealt with them on Kugler Mill when we did the road program. We had the same kind of issue then.
Okay.
With that, the computer, so I'm having to revert to paper form. Resolution providing for and authorizing removal of vegetation, garbage, refuse, and other debris, and declaring a nuisance for the property located at 6510 Kugler Mill Road, Sycamore Township, Ohio 45236.
Motion to approve. Second.
Any discussion? Mr. Dieters.
Mr. James.
Aye.
Mr. Schweigman.
Aye.
Mr. Weaver.
Aye.
With that, that's all I have. Thank you.
Mr. Kellums, roads maintenance and recreation report.
On roads, they've been busy. The Reclamite program, which was on Larchview in the Kenwood Meadows area, that has been completed. The polyfill curb repair program that went out, which was mainly up north in the Marlette area and also in the Kemper Knoll area, that has been completed also. Montgomery Road sidewalks are moving along well. If you've been down Montgomery Road over towards the Silverton line, the north side is supposed to be completed by Monday, and then a couple 2 days for them to move their traffic control to the other side of the road, and by late week they will be starting on the other side. So that project's coming along real well. They're doing a great job over there. That's Atleta doing that. Sort of grant we put in for Kenwood Road, as you know, that we will not know an answer on that till mid-August. That is the time frame that they're telling us right now that they should know how everything rated. Other than that, parks are extremely busy this time of year. Shelter rentals, staff's working hard on festival. Unless you have any questions, that's all I have.
If you don't. You sent us out this week a list of the donors lined up so far for the festival. Thanks for that. I had asked last week, during our last meeting, if we could also get an updated budget for the festival. So if you or Steve could circulate that,
Okay.
that would be helpful as to what we're going to be spending also.
All right.
And where we think it's going. Let's see. Steve gave me an update last week on the getting a quote on the Orchard sign, and he said at the time the person we were dealing with at the vendor had actually left, and we didn't know that, and so they were supposed to be getting us a quote. Do you know if we've gotten that yet?
Yes, we have.
And what did it say?
So we just received that quote end of last week, and that amount is $16,717.59.
And is that installed?
That is installed.
Tracy, weren't we going
That
to?
has been included in that sort of
Yeah,
grant
I thought it was,
also,
I thought it was included in that grant application.
Okay.
It was.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they did mention that last week too,
Yeah, he did.
last meeting.
Yeah. I think those are all the questions. No, actually, this may fall under this. Or maybe Mr. Weidman may have comments about this. Heitmeyer Farms has seen a lot of Duke work this summer. They've taken down some big trees and made a lot of progress in clearing things out there. Have we gotten any report from them as to where they are? Tom, have you gotten any report on that? I know you made a point man on that.
Yeah, they did, and they did give us a report, and they had they had one resident that did not want to, did not agree to have the trees taken down because they did not want them on the property because they weren't going to take the wood away. And so I did send that to Adam. I don't know if he forwarded it on to everybody or not, but that's the last I've heard from Duke. So I do know that I got a number of people responding to me back from Heitmeyer saying that the Duke situation has been much better since
Absolutely.
since the maintenance has been done. So
Yeah, good. Okay. All right. That's all I have for roads, maintenance, and so forth. Question one, thanks.
Alrighty. Larry, Law Director report.
I have nothing to report.
Okay. All right, we're going to flip back over to Mr. Kellums for an administrator report.
Okay, the first thing I have is a resolution for our gas aggregation. If you remember, last year, the winter was so volatile and prices were so up and down, we had ended up agreeing to a rate of 0.839 cents per CCF. Duke in the middle of winter was around 10. It was extremely high. So this year, it seems like things have leveled off, and the projections are that Duke is going to come in with November to March pricing somewhere in the 70 to 80 cents per CCF. So I'm asking for a resolution that there's a strategy out there called it's called blend and extend, which is you could fancy it as refinancing your home. So we're looking for a new rate and to extend the term. So we'd like to pass a resolution that would give me the opportunity to do that because it fluctuates so fast, it goes up and down. We would like to take advantage of it when it happens, and we usually don't have time to come back for a meeting because by that time it would go back up. And so we're hoping to have it under 70 and somewhere in the 60-cent range that we would agree, which would bring us closer to where we were before the market went so crazy on it. So that is what this resolution is about. So I have a resolution authorizing the township administrator to enter into a natural gas aggregation agreement with the natural gas suppliers recommended by Energy Alliances Incorporated, provided that the accepted aggregation rate is below the current contracted rate at the time of execution for a period not to exceed 36 months and dispensing with the second reading.
motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Mr. Dieters.
Mr. James.
Aye.
Ms. Schwagman.
Aye.
Mr. Weaver.
Aye.
So next I have a resolution for the repair of retaining wall at Kenwood Road. If you remember correctly, we did a little over half of this a year ago or so. We did some patchwork on the remaining part, but it's really fallen down. This will complete that wall all along Kenwood Town Center. So it's a resolution approving a proposal for the repair of retaining wall on Kenwood Road and dispensing with a second reading.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion?
And the amount on this is $48,754.
Is this on our property or is this on?
This is on our property.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Dieters.
Mr. James.
Aye.
Mr. Schweigman.
Aye.
Mr. Weaver.
Aye.
So next, we'd like to talk about tire discounters. I believe you all have that in your packet. This is something that we've been working on for months. Larry and I and Tire Discounters and their lawyer, Jeremy Lifter, we have gone back and forth with this. Tire Discounters, as you know, is rebuilding. You know, they would like to stay open. They've approached us to use the Pep Boys. They're going to sink a lot of money into that building because obviously it was gutted by Pep Boys when they left. So this, we had talked about this before. We talked about terms in this meeting. You know, we talked about they would like it to be at least 2.5 years. So I believe you've all received the documents. We're looking at starting construction, I believe, in August, I believe is what it was, or time frame. And in return, you know, this keeps them busy, in business during the reconstruction. They would still be in the JEDS district, so it keeps income into the JEDS. And it's also an agreement for $50,000 a year while the agreement is in place for sponsorship for the festival. I know Larry, we have gone through this over and over. I believe Larry's comfortable with the agreement and with the lease. We have met with them.
I am comfortable.
I have a few thoughts about this. First of all, it's great to help Tire Discounters out, and this building is a great use for that because we've got it sitting there. What more could you ask for right around the corner, but a place already equipped in many ways to do what you need. The price is reasonable. The term is possibly a little long, potentially. I mean, we're looking at it being tied up for up to 36 months without us being able to get out of it.
30 months.
30
without
months.
us being able to,
Well,
which is what you.
It's a 1-year term plus up to 2 renewals that if they exercise would be an additional year each. So that would
But
be
then the
36
term
months.
after that, it says after 30 months that it can be terminated by either party.
With 180 days notice, which would get you to 36 months. So it ties up the property for 3 years.
No, ties it up for 30 months.
Am I reading that wrong?
I thought it tied it up for 30 months.
It does.
Okay, my understanding in reading it was there was a 180-day notice period for termination. So 30 months, okay, that's a little more reasonable.
Which
We
is
don't-
what the board had asked for.
Right, and we don't have a plan for the site right now, of course,
Correct,
anyway, so
correct.
I think that's reasonable too. I guess my concerns are not so much with Tire Discounters or the deal, but the process here. This was news to me when I read this today coming back from vacation in the packet, and I learned from Larry these negotiations had been going on for months with no updates to the entirety of the board. I'm disappointed to have learned that. Whether it's a good deal or not, you should be keeping the entire board informed. That's not Larry's job to do, he's our legal counsel, but you as administrator, please keep the board informed of these things because we might have ideas or inputs as to it. There is a subleasing clause that I think is probably a little too generous in here, but that I could probably live with. It says that if they decide they want to sublease, they can basically do it to anyone we want, and we won't unreasonably withhold consent. I understand from speaking with Larry, the purpose of that is there may be a subsidiary of Tire Discounters they may want to sublease to, but it doesn't limit it to that. If they want to sublease it to a tattoo parlor instead, if it fits within the zoning there, they could.
Well, I think it says, there's something in there that talks about the same use, isn't there?
Tenant may not assign this lease without landlord's prior written consent, which shall not be unreasonably withheld. conditioned, or delayed. For the avoidance of doubt, tenant may sublease the premises with landlord's prior written consent, which shall not be unreasonably withheld, conditioned, or delayed. Kind of repeats that. If there is a statement of use, then there may well be. And again, I saw this coming back from vacation on the plane today. Sorry. I know you sent it out, I think, late Friday, but I was away. I don't know that we should be tying our hands there, but I understand they're coming to us in good faith too, so I can live with that. I don't expect any unexpected uses there. The payment mechanism is the curious thing
I would
too.
add, I thought that we had the right, if they wanted to put a tattoo parlor in there.
It would have to fit within zoning, of course.
Well,
Well,
I
yeah,
don't
That's
think-
unreasonable.
I don't think it would be unreasonably withheld
Okay.
Yeah.
if we said no to the tattoo parlor.
Okay, then
I mean,
that
We
is good.
talked about, as we said, we went over this and over this and over
Right.
this.
Mm.
And I felt comfortable with that section.
Yeah, okay, and that's reasonable. So, the other thing is the payment mechanism. I understand that this is great that they're pledging $50,000 to the festival each year, but, I mean, let's not have illusions about that. This is $50,000 in rent they are paying each year. We are sort of pre-dedicating it through their commitment to it going to the festival, but that is the township spending $50,000 on the festival. It is not some magic donor with no obligation coming out of the blue to do that. They are exercising this gift here to get rent for the place, essentially. The rent is nominally $1 a year in the contract, but it's really $50,000 in rent each year. So why is it structured that way? Maybe those who negotiated can explain why we structured it that way rather than simply paying it as rent and then anticipating the township would
Yeah,
pay.
well, they talked to us about being part of the community. They want to give back to the community. They have to put a lot of money into that building. And we thought that, I talked to Larry about it, I talked to Tire Discounters about it, and they thought it was a great idea to be a part of the community by giving back to the festival.
And they get sponsor recognition and what have you for
Yeah,
doing
Absolutely.
that. So they would get recognition as a community supporter in that fashion as
Sure.
well. So I think that was my understanding.
And still-
And
it's a very nice thing,
I
but
think
in
it's
the end,
fine.
it's $50K coming in and then us spending $50K on the festival, just the source of it. And giving recognition for that is great, but I was just wondering how it was structured that way, because again, this is something I saw for the first time earlier today. So, but that makes sense, so.
I just want to speak to that. So you have to remember, we're still going to be collecting our JEDS payments out of that, they're in a JEDS district. We no longer will be maintaining the building, they will. And I think there's some real benefits to that.
Absolutely.
While we go and complete our traffic study and what we're going to need for, what kind of property we're going to need for access management along that strip there. It's going to take us some time, and it's going to take us time to get the necessary funding to do that. So this is a good stopgap for us, and it's a great stopgap for them because they get the opportunity to stay in the community. And I think, quite frankly, I'd like to see more of our more people, more stakeholders in our community stepping up and participating in things like our festival, which benefit all of our residents. So I have no problem with the you can kind of carve it any way you want. The reality is, I think it's good for the township, and it's good for one of the stakeholders in our community, which is Tire Discounters. So I'm happy to see that you guys negotiated a good deal.
from my perspective, it feels like a win all the way around. That everybody is getting some of what they need out of this transaction that seems to benefit everyone sitting at the table. So from my perspective, I think it's a win all the way around.
Yeah, and I agree. I think it's a win. I think it's a great deal with Tire Discounters, and I'm happy to help facilitate continued business in the community for that. My questions, again, were more about the process, and this was my first opportunity to even ask them of those who were involved in negotiating, which I thought included you, Tom, but maybe it didn't. So, yeah, I think it's a win for the community here, certainly. Yeah, was there anything they wanted to say since they're here this evening?
And if you no, I have it right here. I was going to ask them before we moved on if there was something they would say. If you wouldn't mind just stating your name and address for the record, that would be helpful.
Sure,
Thank you.
absolutely. My name is Charan Jackson. That's Charan Jackson. I'm at 3624 Kendall Avenue in Cincinnati, Ohio. I would like to thank the Board of Trustees for considering this today. This is a very important location for us. We've been in this community for 20 plus years. Tire Discounters is locally owned and operated by the Wood family. Chip Wood lives a couple miles away from this location. So this is a very, very important location for us. That being said, after 20 plus years at being at the location that we're at, we're finally going to make a very significant reinvestment in tear down the existing facility, tear down that graders, and build back really a best-in-class facility, appropriate for this community. So very happy to continue to operate here, and thank you.
We look forward to having you. We look forward to keeping you. For you to continue to operate in this community. So thanks for being here for 20 years, and we look forward to having you here for another 20 years.
Yes.
Nothing to add.
Thanks again,
Thank
gentlemen.
you.
Thank you. So do we actually have a motion yet to approve this deal?
No.
It hasn't been read.
No, but we do not have a resolution. I talked to Larry that we can do this by motion to approve a lease, so I was just asking for a motion tonight.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the lease with Tire Discounters on the property at, what's the address?
7789 Montgomery Road.
7789 Montgomery Road.
As well as the letter of commitment.
Right.
As well as, I'm sorry,
The letter of commitment.
letter of commitment, yes.
And I will second that. They need to go in tandem here, of course. But,
Yes.
Yeah.
Any additional discussion?
So just to be clear, the motion is to approve the lease contingent upon execution of the letter of commitment by Tire Discounters. Is that correct?
Yes.
That is correct.
Okay. No further discussion. I think
Okay.
it's a great plan.
Mr. Dieters.
Mr. James.
Aye.
Mr. Schweigman.
Aye.
Mr. Weaver.
Aye.
All right.
Wonderful.
Congratulations.
I need, let's see, no. Let's see the PO at the back. I was planning on doing electronic, but we don't have much everything. Yeah. So the only thing I have left is one purchase over $5,000. And that's to the Ohio Treasurer, the Ohio Public Works Commission. This is for repayment of Sturbridge subdivision reconstruction loan in the amount of $37,499.17.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Mr. James, or Mr. Dieters, sorry.
Mr. James.
Aye.
Mr. Schweigman.
Aye.
Mr. Weaver.
Aye.
Okay, Mr. Dieters, fiscal officer
Oh,
report.
wait. Sorry. I did have a question for the administrator, if I may.
Okay.
Finance Committee, where are we with that? We got a lot of applications in many months ago, I think, for the reconstituted Finance Committee. The board made it a priority to make that happen when the vote occurred to implement it. Where are we?
So I've talked to a couple of people that have applied recently. Obviously, we waited because Mr. Porter was leaving, Mr. Dieters was coming in. We are in the middle of trying to find a person to replace Debbie, and as soon as we do that, we will be going ahead with that. We'll be moving forward with that. Mr. Dieters is part of the interview process because he will be the chair of the committee.
All right. Have we gotten any new applications from the
We have
committee in
not.
recent months?
We have not.
Okay. Thanks for the update.
Mhm.
Sorry to interrupt you, John.
No problem. For cash receipts, we had $487,117.61. Disbursements of $263,988.03. A complete listing of the receipts and disbursements is available in the packet.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Mr. Dieters.
Mr. James.
Aye.
Ms. Schweigman.
Aye.
Mr. Weaver.
Aye.
Trustee comments.
I just have one. I am working with the women's golf tournament for some parking opportunities in Kenwood for the tournament. I've talked to the general manager at the mall, and we're going to work out some spaces, I think, at the mall, plus also at the collection, which has roughly 3,500 spaces that don't get a lot of use. So we're working on that, and hopefully it'll be a great tournament for the area. That's all I have.
Nothing right now. Happy summer, everyone.
So I wanted to bring up something briefly. I had some stakeholders ask that I bring it up to make note that June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. It was actually codified as such in 1994 by the President of the United States in the effort to highlight men's mental health, bring awareness to that issue, and encourage folks to take a proactive approach to their mental health and reach out if you need it. There are many resources available, whether it's through your healthcare provider or through oftentimes your insurance company, which has online and or 800 number of resources. And I believe the county is even standing up some a new 988 number that is available for folks as well. So at the request of some stakeholders, I wanted to make note that, again, June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. Thank you for granting me those few moments for that public service announcement. Other than that, it's important to note that the Board of Zoning Appeals meeting on June 21st, 2023 has been canceled. And for all other scheduled meeting and events, please see the published calendar on our website. We do hope that you all mark your calendars for July 14th and 15th when the festival in Sycamore will be returning to Bechtold Park. We hope to see you all there. Other than that, I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
Actually, Tracy,
So moved.
Sorry, one other question. Tracy, I had to ask you about this, and actually we hadn't talked again. There is a good chance I'll be unable to attend the meeting on July 5th, which I think we had already rescheduled because the 4th is a Tuesday. I'd ask you whether anyone else might be interested in moving it or not. If not, I'll possibly just miss. But did anyone have any interest in shifting that because of a holiday that week?
No,
If not, I understand.
Talk to you tonight. Neither of your fellow trustees wanted to cancel.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, and
I
I
just
think,
thought I'd bring it up that
well,
we
I
did-
think it helps keep our accounting folks on track with their ability to
Oh, sure.
process bills and pay bills and all that good stuff.
Right.
So to kind of have two meetings,
Yeah.
that would be helpful. But we will certainly make an effort to keep the agenda streamlined.
very
So
good.
there's nothing too terribly critical that hits the agenda
You
in
won't
your
get any of my
absence.
questions that night if I'm
That's
not here,
okay.
so it'll go quickly. So,
That's
We'll be out in
okay.
no time.
That's okay. That's okay.
or maybe I'll show up and surprise you anyway.
There you go. We'd love to have you. We'd love to have you. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned at 7:37 p.m.
If you